3 of the dumbest things I've done in my hunting career. These are lessons I've learned and kind of cool concepts. I listened to a podcast from Bo Martonic and he mentioned something that I used to do a lot of. I thought it was worth doing. Now, today we are prepping some trail cams and we're going to get Zoe's farm set up. So I'm going to do this here on my Saturday morning in my PJs before things get rolling because that's just the time slot I got. So I got my harness, straps, sticks. Probably could use one screw in. I'm gonna see if I got one. So something I used to do that I feel like is really dumb is I was very conscious on scent control. I was trying to be John Eberhart. Obviously that works for him. John's killed a bunch of bucks, but I bought the carbon powder after hearing a Wired to Hunt episode, and I was putting that in my boots. I had a separate bin for my boots. So right, I got a tote for my clothes. I've done that system for years, really like that. The tote's right there. And then I had a separate tote for our boots, and it was generally 2 of us hunting, me and Zoe for the most part. And we would honestly get dressed at the truck. So we drive to our hunting spot in the big woods in street clothes, get fully naked or down to our boxers, and it would put us in such a cold state. And the plus minus there wasn't there. We weren't fooling anymore deer. We still had to walk in. At that time, we weren't walking very far. We didn't know what we were doing. And we were putting a lot of man effort and stuff into these scent control regimens that we could have been doing other things. We could have been scouting, getting in the woods more, trying to figure some stuff out. It just was not a good use of our times. I remember at one point I was taking chlorophyll pills because those are supposed to help cool your body, put off less odor. John Eberhard literally changes his diet. I'm not to that extreme. I don't do any of that anymore. Sometimes I even pump my gas in my boots that I'm probably gonna get in the woods with. Probably not the best idea, but I just do not care. And I just try and be downwind or use the thermals and don't let the deer smell me and pray a little bit. Now I am very cautious of where I put my boots, especially in the final like 50 yards. If this is an evening scout your way in hunt, or if this is a morning, like I do sometimes have like no fly zones, angle of approach. Sometimes the buck I killed last year, I ended up walking across this trail, but I tried to jump over it to try and like not leave as much ground scent right there. Or like you may bend your walking path to give you 3 to 5 extra yards of a shot. The snow buck on this channel catches my ground scent right as the arrow's getting sent. He like hunches up and then you hear the bow go off. So it was time. Foggy today, but we also got a raccoon overnight. Got to keep those chickens healthy. But the second thing I'm going to mention here in the video, I bought a $100 climber back in the day, and looking back, that was wasted money and led to a lot of frustrations. And obviously today you can buy various gear from better stuff, but I think you got to go to that next level. You got to get the mid-tier mobile gear to be happy-ish. You know, I would have been better off back in the day hunting on the ground. I think I would have scouted more. I would have walked around the woods more. I would have walked farther. I had a 30-pound climber that literally had bad straps to carry and wasn't like the best. Now, I passed 2-3 bucks that I should have totally shot. I can remember a tight 10 point that I had no business passing like early October or mid-October, and then like November 1st I had dreams of going to some private ground I had access to for the next 3 days. This was in college, and I passed like a really good 120 class buck with like the Outdoor Channel on my mind. I was so dumb. I should have roasted that deer and had an experience or missed him or learned something, but I should have shot that deer. And it probably, in the grand scheme of things, might have meant more, right? A public land, hard-earned buck early in my hunting career. Like, I don't know, I just wasn't thinking that way. I was literally brainwashed by the Outdoor Channel. And the final thing that like I really messed up on in my deer hunting career is not putting enough effort into off-season scouting. And, you know, I did go through like 4 or 5 winters of 60, 70 miles and then another 20 in turkey season, and that like changed the game for me as far as having spots, learning. It was like a practice deer hunt, right? Like professional athletes don't always play the game. They put a lot of effort into weight training, speed training, eating right, practice itself. And yeah, just being in the deer woods that much really skyrocketed the, like, I remember the notable hunts where I would see 0 deer, and then the off season I spent scouting the next season, I was like, oh man, I'm seeing deer like 3 out of 4 hunts, or like 4 out of 5. And that was kind of like not what the season before was about. It was probably, 3 out of 4 hunts were 0 deer. I just had a lot better luck and wasn't throwing as many darts. I remember I kind of thought it was stupid to go in the deer woods not during deer season, and like, these guys talk about scouting, what. And then I was literally just throwing darts at the upper third in the deer season and not seeing a lot of deer. And Dave and his guys had done a lot more boots to ground scouting before I kind of dove in. And they would be like, oh yeah, I saw 2 bucks this morning. Or yeah, I had a doe group and then a small 8 kicking stuff around. And I'd be like, I saw 0 deer. So that commitment really was probably the best thing I ever did as a deer hunter. Guys, I appreciate you watching. Leave a comment if you've done something dumb in your deer hunting career or like a bad purchase. I think these are good things to learn from a handful of guys. Team Herder Bucks.